A good opening scene in a movie sets up the mood of the film and introduces you to the important characters. Just saying this, you're probably already thinking about your favorite movie opening, whether it's Pulp Fiction or Dark Knight. These scenes are some of the most memorable if done right, and set up your expectations for the whole film. With that being said, the opening of Boogie Nights does all of this and more with a nearly 3-minute long unbroken shot that moves through a club, introducing you to all of the characters. In this video, I'm going to examine what makes the Boogie Nights intro so great, as well as look at other films that inspired the scene and have a similar effect. The opening of Boogie Nights is so great both because of how it completely sets the mood of the film, but also the technical skill on display to craft this 3-minute long continuous shot, weaving through a crowd and showing off tons of characters talking. If you just look at how this opening sets the scene for the movie, it does so much to set up the next 2.5 hours. As soon as it starts, you're introduced to the neon lights and disco music of the 70s, before text on screen gives you a more concrete location, San Fernando Valley in 1977. From here, you enter the club, which tells you everything you need to know about the attitudes in the 70s, as well as introduces numerous characters who are all pivotal in the film. The film has an ensemble cast that keep coming back and crossing over with each other through the film's runtime, so this setting of a club to bring them all together is genius. On a technical level, the shot is also incredibly impressive because of how much camera movement there is here, and how many different parts of the club it has to show off. It's not just an unbroken conversation or following one character around a building. It starts outside and glides around before focusing on one set of characters, and then the camera enters the club where it carefully maneuvers around a bunch of extras in order to film various important characters. All throughout this process, the camera is changing where it is in relation to the characters, going from in front of Burt Reynolds to behind him, which requires really great movement from the camera operator. Boogie Nights is a film that's well known for being inspired by the films of Martin Scorsese, and you can see that even in this opening. As great as this scene is, it's very similar to a scene in Goodfellas that sees Ray Liotta walk into a club, with the camera following him the entire time. The Copacabana scene from Goodfellas is great, just like the opening to Boogie Nights, because it has so much style, which is expected for Goodfellas, and it does so much to tell you about Ray Liotta's character. The scene consists of a 3-minute unbroken shot of Ray Liotta walking from his car with his date into the Copacabana club. Just as Boogie Nights has the disco soundtrack for its opening, this scene has a song from the 60s playing through the whole scene, which is a staple of both Goodfellas and Martin Scorsese's films. The shot is deliberately designed to let this song play out as long as possible and let the audience bask in the technical prowess of the scene, as well as the style of the music, with Ray Liotta taking a very inefficient route through the kitchen compared to where he was going. This also contributes to the feeling of exuberance that Liotta's character associates with being a gangster at the start of the film. Before it all falls down, his character views the life of a gangster as being a life of luxury, and you can see this with the way he acts walking into the Copacabana club. The biggest thing is that he goes in through the private back door and then he walks through the busy kitchen talking to people and navigating around everyone trying to work. He's both trying to show off for his date, but also the kitchen staff lets him walk around back there because he's such a big shot and comes to the club so often as part of his luxurious gangster life. The scene is part of that build-up in the first act of Goodfellas, where everything is going great and it seems like Ray Liotta's character will live a charmed life as a gangster before everything starts to fall down, and it helps the audience feel the exuberance both with how it's technically showy, but also with how it lets the audience see how great this character's life is. Just as Boogie Nights was inspired by the work of Martin Scorsese, Brian De Palma was making films during the same New Hollywood period as Scorsese, and included a great long shot in his film Snake Eyes. The plot of Snake Eyes revolves around a government official getting assassinated at a boxing match, and the opening of the film highlights this perfectly with a really impressive unbroken shot that moves all around the arena. This shot introduces the setting of the film, introduces you to the main character played by Nick Cage, and it ends with the assassination that kickstarts the events of the film. This 13-minute unbroken shot pulls you into the chaotic world of the film, driven both by the energy of the arena and zaniness of Nick Cage's character. As the camera follows him through the bowels of the arena, you get to see every side of the character, literally and figuratively, as he walks around before taking his seat. In just 10 minutes, you know so much about the main character, both who he is as a person and his role as a father and detective as a result of talking on the phone for most of the sequence. A combination of great writing and great directing. The unbroken opening sequence ends almost like how a mystery novel would begin, with an assassination that fuels the rest of the film's events. The opening starts chaotic to set the mood for what to expect, and then immediately dives into a murder for Nick Cage's detective character to solve. It's a really long opening, the longest I've talked about in this video, but it's so great because of how it keeps the energy going for so long before diving into the premise of the film, as opposed to the scenes in Boogie Nights and Goodfellas, which act as short bursts of energy to get the audience excited before moving into slower scenes. The opening scene of Boogie Nights is phenomenal both on a technical level but also as an entertaining scene. It wasn't the first scene or the last scene to use an unbroken shot to set the mood, but in my opinion, Boogie Nights does it best. Every time I watch the scene, I'm impressed with how the camera weaves through everyone, and I'm entertained with the style the film creates and the conversations it's able to show off. I think setting up an extensive scene to be one shot all in one go is really impressive from everyone involved, and I think that effort comes through to the audience and makes the film better overall. All of these scenes and all of these movies are great though, and I highly recommend checking them all out. I'm curious which of these films is your favorite, or if you've never seen any of them, which seems most interesting. Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this every other Thursday. Thanks for watching.